Thanks for clicking on the video. Hit the subscribe button for more weekly content and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a thing. Duskmon might be gone, but this battle is far from being over. What's good, peeps? Poppin'? How are you doing? And welcome to part 3 of our ongoing series, What If Koichi Joined Since the Beginning? Today, we continue our journey into a new frontier, if you will. As we look to the past, our heroes did not have a complete team until more than halfway through the season. And to be honest, once Koichi joined, there was not much he did that made much of a difference. But as you guys headed for the future and stumbled upon this video series, you'll discover just how different Digimon Frontier would have been had the legendary Warrior of Darkness been involved since episode 1. Just like with Jerry and another What If series that I'm currently doing, his early involvement with the team has profound consequences, especially considering that he's been reunited with Koji a lot sooner. I get that this particular season of Digimon isn't the most popular, but considering that it's my favorite, I would love for the story to continue. But that's dependent on you guys. If this video receives 15 likes, that will let me know that you also want things to continue into part 4. Let's begin. The area surrounding Velgamon began to quake and distort as the darkness surrounding him also began to fade. The warrior braced himself for anything to happen, but in a matter of seconds, Velgamon found himself back in the continent of darkness along with the other legendary warriors.
Koichi!
Kenderu Gurumon shouted.
You! What did you do to my brother?
The wolf was revving up, ready to strike before Velgamon hopped in front of him. Kenderu Gurumon, stop! Why, that's Velgamon, the true form of the legendary warrior of darkness.
I don't care who he is. Where's Koichi?
Having had enough, Kenderu Gurumon sped straight towards the Lion Man, brandishing his blade. The warrior of light was about to make contact when he heard
Koji!
Coming right from this unfamiliar Digimon.
Koichi, is that you?
Velgamon nodded, and almost immediately, Kenderu Gurumon slide evolved back down to Velgamon.
What happened in there? We thought Duskmon took you for good. And where is Duskmon anyway?
Rightfully so. The younger twin had questions that needed answering, as did the rest of the team. Velgamon tried to explain as much as he could, but he was interrupted by a familiar quake he felt mere moments ago. As if by instinct, he and Velgamon turned towards the spot where Duskmon once stood, and saw what looked like a dimensional rift filled with the same darkness Koichi was subjected to.
Once I reclaimed and purified the spirit of darkness, I was able to become Velgamon and return to you guys. As for what happened to Duskmon, I think we're about to find out.
The quakes were getting more intense as the pitch black rift kept expanding and warping. Burning Greymon and the other legendary warriors stumbled over to where the twins were as they knew something ominous was approaching. Right on cue, the most ear-piercing cry ripped through the darkness, followed by a scarlet blur that shot towards the sky. All eyes were now on the monstrosity floating above them.
What is that thing?
That's Velgamon, beast spirit of darkness.
Velgamon replied in absolute terror.
So Duskmon became Velgamon after I took the spirit away. And judging by the looks of it, the beast spirit got corrupted as well.
What are we gonna do, guys? That thing looks tougher than anything we faced up until now.
Takuya, or Burning Greymon, felt confident in their ability to take down the mutant Digimon. Especially now that Koichi gained his spirit, the group's previous successes seem to have affected Takuya's judgment, as it did originally. This put him at odds with Koji, who thinks their leader isn't considering the safety of everyone else. Like before, the DigiDestined run from their opponent. Takuya and Koji argue, and not long after, Velgamon swoops in for round 2. This time, the consequences are a lot worse, and now they're dealing with an unbridled beast spirit. Even with the addition of Velgamon, Velgamon is just too powerful. Seeking to end things, Velgamon charges towards Velgamon at blinding speed. Even though it's more or less a mindless monster at this point, its instincts pointed towards that one. The Warrior of Darkness ready to shield to take the blow, but Velgamon was intercepted by Kenderu Gurumon, reverting back to an unconscious Koji. The injury was so bad that even his fractal code became exposed.
No. Koji! Koji! No! It's all my fault!
Now, instead of screeching out in pain at the sound of Koji's name as Duskmon had done in the original, since Velgamon doesn't have any ties with him, that obviously won't be the case here. Instead, the beast tries to steal Koji's spirits and fractal code. To keep that from happening, our heroes, minus Takuya, had to summon every bit of power they had left to protect their friend. Thinking quickly, Metal Kabuterimon came up with the idea of aiming for Velgamon's eyes. With it momentarily blinded, they could retreat. The DigiDestined did just that and make a hasty getaway. For the time being, everyone was safe and Koji's injuries were being cared for, but the same couldn't be said for Takuya's mental state. The plan he had the utmost confidence in completely failed, and because of that, his friend was seriously injured. In his mind, Koji was right. His recklessness put them all in danger. He shouldn't be there. The young warrior got up and began making his way deeper into the dark forest. Tommy took notice and asked where he was going, but Takuya, not even looking back, answered,
I'm just going for a walk,
and entered the darkness. The deeper he went, the more obscure his vision became. Each step took him further away from the friends he once knew, the friends whose lives he endangered. Takuya just kept walking without any thought besides leave, as if he manifested it himself. Emerging from the murky forest was the dark terminal housing a dark trailmon. Just as he had done in the original story, Takuya accepts the dark trailmon's offer to take him back home. Everything will play out the same at this point in the story, as nothing would change about Takuya being back home. He learns the lesson he is meant to learn, and returns to the digital world with new resolve. From the rescue inside the old castle, until the events inside Sakakumon, again, things play out almost exactly the same. That is, until we see the struggle Sakakumon planned for Koji and Koichi. Zoe, JP, and Tommy at this point had all escaped from Sakakumon, leaving just Takuya and the twins left. Inside, Koji once again makes his way into the darkness area, only to find it completely barren. Since Dustmon isn't a factor anymore in the story, I'm going to get a little creative in how the Warrior of Light must overcome this new trial. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your feedback. Koji wanders around a bit until he starts to hear the sounds of faint but familiar voices.
Who's there? Where are you?
He quickly looked all around him, but saw no one. Not taking any chances, he spirit evolved to Lobomon and ran towards the direction of the voices. The voices kept getting louder and clearer, but even still, Lobomon couldn't make out who or what they are. Eventually, his hunt brought him in front of a very large mirror.
The voices are coming from here. But how?
The warrior gazed into the mirror, seeing only his own reflection. You know, as mirrors are prone to do. But obviously, this was no ordinary mirror. Lobomon's reflection was swiftly replaced by an unsettling, inexplicable image.
Dad? Mom? Koichi? What's going on?
The mirror showed Koji's family back home living peaceful, joyful lives. Each of them were smiling and laughing, like a real family.
It's a beautiful sight, isn't it, Koji?
Said an eerily mysterious voice from behind Lobomon. Instinctively, the wolfman jumped back and brandished his swords.
Who are you?
Quick to the draw, I see. That certainly explains a lot.
Don't talk as if you know anything about me!
Ah, but you see, legendary warrior, I know you more than you know yourself. That mirror reflects nothing but the undeniable truth. And the truth is, your parents would be much better off with your brother, Koichi.
Enough!
Lobomon refused to listen to this sadistic Digimon, identified as Velgamon, and went on the offensive. Though as skilled as he was, none of his hits were landing on the fallen angel Digimon. He tried to even the playing field by slide evolving to Kenogurumon, but Velgamon still had the advantage of maneuverability given its ability of flight, as well as this sneaky trick.
Demon shouts!
Sonic waves poured from the demon's mouth, and Kenogurumon had no way to escape it. The physical force of the attack bringing him back down to Koji.
Basic Koji Minamoto, you are doomed to be alone forever. You are not wanted in this world or your own. Accept your fate.
These words, laced with the demon's shout, flooded the young warrior's mind. And from the outside, Zoe and the others could see just how much pain Koji was in. We're going to leave Koji for now, but if you stick through to the end, I'll let you know how you guys can influence the course of the story. Which brings us to Koichi, stuck in the steel area. Unlike his brother, Koichi, now Lobomon, was immediately thrust into battle against the area's guardian, Mercurymon. Our hero was at a clear disadvantage since the area was littered with polished surfaces that allowed the warrior of steel to teleport in and out of.
So this be the power of the warrior of darkness. Thou art merely a whelp that has yet to experience true power.
He taunted between each unsuccessful attack. Lobomon did his best to tune the taunting out, but with each passing moment, he's becoming more tired and mentally vulnerable. That was Mercurymon's plan.
Gaze upon mine hallowed reflections, for thou shalt see the truth!
Blinding light shot out from each of the mirrors and polished surfaces, making it impossible for the legendary warrior to see anything. That was only temporary, but once he opened his eyes, Mercurymon was nowhere to be seen. Only mirrors. Velgamon didn't understand what the villain meant when he said, "See the truth." Mercurymon was the most cunning of the evil legendary warriors, who he obviously couldn't be trusted. He must remain on guard, but that was impossible for what was going to happen next. Gazing upon the mirrored surfaces, Velgamon saw what looked like all of the DigiDestined boarding the Trailmon on the day they all came to the digital world. But where was he? He looked at another to see them all at Gatsumon Village when Koji Beast Spirit evolved for the first time. Again, no Koichi. What's going on? If these are images of the past, then where am I? With each mirror, he looked to see events of the past play out, but he was nowhere to be seen. It was as if he was never a part of their team. The frantic young man went through as much as he could, seeing images of the past that he seemingly was never a part of, until he came to one more mirror. It showed Takuya, Koji, and Tommy in Toy Town. The two older boys were talking about how to treat Tommy. Koichi then heard these words that utterly broke him. "I'm an only child. I don't know what it's like to have a brother." And that's where this part will end for today. So much just happened in today's part, and because creative liberties had to go into effect somewhat, the story can go in any which way possible. I think that's one of the joys of making what if videos. By altering the story by even the slightest margin, the result could be something completely different from the source material. But now, here's where I want you guys to come in. We're at the point in the story where Fusion Evolution is about to make an appearance. In the original story, it was Seraphimon's Digi-Egg that granted Takuya and Koji the power to do so. I'll leave a poll in the pinned comment for you guys to vote on the following options. Will Seraphimon give the power of Fusion Evolution to Takuya and Koji only, like before, Takuya, Koji, and Koichi only, or the entire team? I'm not going to say my opinion as to not sway any voting, but please, let your voice be heard. It just might take our story on an even crazier adventure. As for our story so far, what do you think of the current developments that have taken place? How will Koji and Koichi manage to overcome their trials? Let me know in the comments below and leave suggestions for more Digimon what ifs you would like to see come to life in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.